And welcome back to another Paul's Aquariums unboxing video. I am Paul, this is Paul's Aquariums, aquarium shop in Brisbane for the last long time, since 1999. I know, that was a while ago. We have one awesome box of fish, lots and lots of cool stuff in here. Let's get started because that's what we should do. Oh look, the first bag, we have some fish. What are they? Oh, sailfin plecos. So these are gibiceps or your sailfin plecostomus. These will get big. These are a South American suckerfish that's going to get like 60 centimeters, maybe even a little bit bigger than that. So you've got a big tank with South American sort of cichlids and Central American cichlids. These are the type of suckerfish you want to go with them. They are covered in armor. Don't like the pH too high, so try not to mix them with Malawi cichlids or other African cichlids from the Rift Lakes and stuff like that. But they do really well at a pH of 7 to 6. So sort of slightly acidic to very acidic. And yeah, they will get huge. Awesome algae eaters. They do need protein in their diet as well. Tropical fish, so anything from 22 to 28 degrees Celsius. But these are the ones with the cool dorsal fin on them, and they grow pretty fast. So these are probably, what, 8-9 centimeters, something like that at the moment, and they are going to double every sort of 3 or 4 weeks. They're just going to get bigger, until they get huge. They are absolutely awesome fish, but first bag, we have a couple of sailfin gibiceps, or plecos. Plecostomus. Now I'm sure there are some different ones in here somewhere. Haha, yes we do. Okay, so these are the same as the gibiceps. Well, these are the gibiceps or the sailfin plecos, but these are the albino versions. So if you want an awesome looking yellowy colored one with red eyes, this is the albino version of those. So everything that applies to the normal sailfins applies to the albinos. Very big, very awesome. If you want a big suckerfish for your tank, go for these. And we have some axolotls. Okay, same sort of color as the suckerfish, kind of, sort of, but these are Mexican walking fish. Not a fish, did originate in Mexico. These are all bred in captivity, bred in Australia. Looks like we have 2 leucistic, which have the beady black eyes, if you can kind of see them through the bag there. So these are the tadpole stage of a salamander that doesn't morph into a salamander. So they'll actually breed in this tadpole stage. They get pretty big, so they get about 25-30 centimeters. So these are probably only about 15-16 centimeters to give you an idea. So they're going to get a lot bigger than that. And I'm pretty sure there are more in here somewhere. There is a yellow one, or gold one. So it's a gold albino. It's got the albino eyes to it. Super awesome things. And, oh, we do have another one. Looks like we've got a couple of gold and a couple of leucistic, and I think we already have some blacky brown ones there as well. So if you'd love an axolotl, good time for axolotls. Now they do like to be kept cold, so below 20 degrees Celsius. So you need them in a full air-conditioned room that gets below 20 degrees, or have a chiller on your tank for them to be ideal and happy. Don't really go well mixing with fish because they've got big fluffy gills on them, and if there's any fish in the tank, they're going to nip at the gills. Not to mention that they'll try and eat the fish as well. They do better on meaty foods like worms and frozen beef heart, bloodworms, that sort of stuff. Decent pellets, and they will live for a long time, up to like about 15 years or so. Very easy to breed. If you've seen any of our other videos, you'll see baby axolotls and stuff in there, because they tend to lay eggs in the shop, and we grow them up and have lots and lots of axolotls. But second lot of stuff, we have axolotls. Yay! I should have probably added the pH wants to be about 7 or so not too acidic, not too alkaline. Keep it about 7, 7.2, and they will go really well. We have, oh, they're nice. Look at them. Those cool bluey black swordtails again, the motley coloured ones, and some really nice bright orange swordtails. Okay, so these are a Central American live bearer. I know I keep going Central American cichlid, but they're not. Live bearer, they have live babies. These are pretty tolerant of a wide range of temperatures, so anything from like about 15 degrees Celsius up to 30 degrees Celsius, as long as it doesn't jump back and forward very quickly. So they're going to tolerate a big range of temperatures. You can technically have them unheated in Queensland. If you have them outside, you just don't want a hailstorm in winter because that's probably going to be the end of the little buggers, but otherwise they are very tolerant of cools and warms and all those things. pH wise, they don't like the water acidic, so keep them 7 to 7.5. Just above 7 is ideal, and as I said, they're a live bearing fish, so the females will get impregnated by the males, and then they'll have batches of live babies, about 60 babies every couple of months on average. Every 5 to 6 weeks you'll keep getting a batch of babies, more and more and more, and they can sort of get out of control and you can have lots and lots of swordtails. Looks like we maybe only got those two. Yeah, looks like only those two different coloured swordtails, but I think we've got a lot of different other colours down there at the moment, but swordtails because they're awesome. Oh, males have the sword, females don't. That's why they're called swordtails. They could probably call them a half swordtail because half of them have swords, and well, I suppose you have even males and females. Some of my favourite fish, we have a big bag of black wiggly corydoras. So more corydoras in stock. Hopefully mine are breeding at home, but who knows? We'll know once we see little tiny wiggly babies and stuff there. If you haven't seen those videos, check out the videos on the channel somewhere and you'll see a whole lot of breeding videos in the fish room and that. But black corydoras, they're a little Asian fish, look like an eel, but they're not an eel, they are a loach, which is kind of like a catfish, super peaceful, gonna max out about that 10-12 centimeters on average. pH-wise, anything from 6.5 to 7.5, they've got a big range again, and temperature-wise, anything from 22 to 26 degrees, and you can't go wrong. Want to keep a group of them, so try to keep sort of 3 or more. If you only got 1 or 2, they're gonna hide away. If you've got a group of them, you're gonna see them a lot more often, but a very cool little wiggly thing, and I'm pretty sure we got the stripy ones down there as well, which is just slightly different species, look the same, act the same water conditions, but stripy, because who doesn't want a stripy eel type catfish thing for your tank? Yes, you do, yes. Okay, more eel-like things, but these are actually eels, kind of, sort of. Well, not really, they are spiny eels, and they're not the eels that you would get in the creeks and stuff with the big mouths and stuff, that's the big mouths. These have like a pointy snout to them. So these are spiny peacock eels. They're gonna max out about 20 centimeters or so about that big. Pretty peaceful, but they get big enough to pull down little tiny fish like neon tetras and stuff. So if you've got big fat ones of these, they will go underneath your substrate. After a few years, they're big enough to actually eat little tiny fish at night. And they're not real good at hunting, but because they're nocturnal, when all the little fish are sleeping on the bottom, they're out and about trying to grab them. So they're gonna eat shrimp, small fish, that sort of stuff, but you can keep them with decent size sort of stuff. So anything from sort of maybe 5 centimeters plus, they're not going to eat. They got the little pointy snout as opposed to bitey teeth, so they're more rummaging around the substrate to try, that's rummaging around the substrate, that says pointy snout. Rummaging around the substrate just to get your worms and crustaceans and little bits and pieces. Otherwise, super awesome little fish. These are a little Asian eel, so pH-wise, again, 6.5 to 7.5, and temperature-wise, anything from that 22 to 26 degrees. And you can't go wrong with them. They are very good at getting out your tank though, so you wanna make sure you've got a full lid on the tank. Lower your water level a little bit so they don't race along, hit the corner of the tank, go up and out they go sort of things. Otherwise, they will hide in the substrate with their little tiny snout and eyes sticking out. Very cute, very cool, spiny eels. These are super, super awesome. Okay, we haven't had these for a little while and we did sell out of them. These are archerfish. So these are the really cool fish that squirt the water out of the water. It always sounds weird when I say that, squirt the water out of the water. But they do. They squirt the water out of the water and can get bugs and stuff in trees. They fall to the surface of the water and then they eat them. They can also jump out of the water like a couple of feet, which is kind of ridiculous, and grab food and that. So they are a brackish water fish, which means half fresh, half salt. So they sort of come from mangrove areas and that. They will survive full fresh for a long period of time, but you want the pH alkaline. So between 7 and 8, they don't really like acidic water. So you can have them in full salt water as well, because in the wild they'll go into the ocean. I was going to say go into the full ocean. Go into the ocean, so they'll go full salt water, back up the creeks to full fresh water. As long as the water's not too acidic, they will be fine. They will get pretty big too, so they're going to max out about 20-30 centimeters, which is huge for one of these. Really nice, silver, little spots on them, just super cool. But I think we've got like 3 of those available at the moment. Awesome for tanks with other native fish. You can keep them with rainbow fish, you can keep them with certain cichlids that don't like the water too acidic, anything sort of big enough that's not going to get eaten by them with their giant mouths, and they will be perfectly fine. Go really well with silver scats, monos, all those sort of other brackish water fish, but there we go. We have archerfish back in, yay. Oh, they're surprisingly huge. That's kind of cool. So we have gold laser CORYDORAS, a little bit cheaper than the other batch, and they're probably double the size. just as mine breed at home, of course, but that's the way that it goes. So if you want some decent size gold laser CORYDORAS, now is the time. Haven't seen these before. These are a little South American catfish. They got like a gold stripe to them, hence the name gold laser CORYDORAS. Same species as your bronze, just a different locality, so technically the same but different. They will tolerate a wide range of temperatures as well, so 20 degrees to 28 degrees. pH-wise, anything from 6 to 7, and they'll be perfectly fine as well. Schooling, so you want a group of 3 or more of them. Just an awesome South American, super peaceful catfish. They're going to max out about 5 centimeters, give or take, say 5.5 centimeters or so, but really, really nice looking fish and easy to breed as well, as long as you've got males and females. They're just about the right size to tell males and females, but super healthy, super awesome. Only got a few in because that's what happens when they're awesome. We just get a few to see, they get them in and then they sell out. But gold laser Cories, because they are awesome. And another fish from South America, even though these don't exist in the wild, these are your neon blue ram cichlids. Very small, peaceful dwarf cichlid. Absolutely awesome. Neon blue color for males and females. They like the water slightly acidic and a low GH, which is low mineral content to the water. So if you have these in like hard water, they don't really tend to go too well, but if you have a soft acidic tank, lots of community fish, tetras, CORYDORAS, that sort of stuff, they will go really, really well. Gonna max out about 5-6 centimeters, and yet neon blue, super awesome little things. And the cool things about cichlids is they'll get to know you, come up to the front of the glass, get food, all that sort of wonderful stuff. Sort of like a social pet fish. Social fish? Sort of like a social fish, I suppose. So pH-wise, anything from 6 to 6.8, and temperature-wise, anything from 25 to 30 degrees Celsius, and they will go really, really well. Neon blue rams, we haven't had them for a little while. They are an absolutely awesome little fish, but I think there's even nicer ones. Oh, those are the sunshine gold version of your blue ram. So everything that applies to the blue ones applies to these, and these are like a super, super bright gold color to them, which is yellowy gold, I suppose. Is gold orange or is gold yellow? Yellowy, it's gold. They're gold color, but not metallic, because that would be kind of crazy and super awesome. Someone should randomly breed a metallic one. But looking at the bag, it looks like, yes, we do have males and females. So big enough to tell males and females. Easy to breed in the right conditions. Super awesome little fish. So gold ones and blue ones. Ram cichlids, yes. We had blue, we had yellow, and now we've got red. But these are not rams, these are a barb. So these are your neon chili rosy barbs. They look so awesome in a bag, but when they get into the tank, they're even brighter. So these are a temperate fish from Asia, so they're going to survive anything from like about 10 degrees, even a little bit lower than 10 degrees, all the way up to 30 degrees, and pH-wise anything from 6.5 to 7.5, so very tolerant, awesome for unheated ponds and stuff like that, or even heated ponds, awesome for ponds or unheated tanks in Queensland, or even tropical tanks. They can be nippy, so you don't want to keep them with like guppies with long flowing fins and stuff like that, but they're perfectly fine with other sort of fast moving tetras, raspora, catfish, all that sort of stuff. Don't mix them with goldfish because they're going to nip the tails on the goldfish, but a big variety of other fish like rainbow fish and all sorts of stuff, they will go really, really well. But neon rosy barbs back in as well because they're awesome and red. Yay! We have the smallest bag ever of gold, what are they? White cloud mountain minnows. I knew they were gold, but I didn't actually know what they were. Gold white cloud mountain minnows. Now we did order more than that, but we've only got like, it looks like maybe 20 or 30 of them. Who knows? I'm pretty sure we still got some down there as well, but these are from the White Cloud Mountains in China. Perfect for eating mosquitoes in frog ponds, but they're not going to eat tadpoles or frog eggs or anything like that, where things like your rosy barbs are big enough to eat little tadpoles and frog eggs, etc., etc. These will leave them alone, but eat your mosquitoes. So awesome if you want something super easy for ponds. They're only tiny. They're going to max out about 4 or 5 centimeters at the most. Let's say 3 to 4 centimeters, 3.5 centimeters. 3.5 centimeters, and yeah, super peaceful. So you want to keep them anything temperature wise, 10 degrees up to like 22, 23 degrees. They don't like the water too warm, so below 20 is probably their ideal awesome spot for them. And pH wise, anything from 6.5 to 7.5, and they're pretty tolerant. Schooling, so keep a group of them, and that's sort of the same as the rosy barbs you just saw as well, so try and keep 5 or more. Do better in numbers. If you only got 1 or 2, they're going to wonder where their mates are, but all round awesome little fish. Oh, they are tiny, but they are coloured up really, really well. celestial pearl dinios, one of the best ones to last. Well, it's actually not the last fish, but they're awesome little fish. So these will stay super small, around that 2.5 centimeters. Yeah, they look like little tiny trout. They've got those awesome little red fins and the little speckly sort of star pattern to them, which is why they're called celestial. They're not a dinio, but they're a peaceful little tiny dwarf fish that schools, so you want to keep a group of 5 or 6 again of these. Just an all-round, absolutely awesome little peaceful fish if you want something for a nano tank that's easy to breed as well. Egg scatterer, so they scatter eggs everywhere. pH-wise, anything from 6.5 to 7.5, and temperature-wise, anything from 22 to 28 degrees, and they will be perfectly fine. Easy to breed, really nice, just an all-round awesome little microfish. And we're saving all these to last. So we have more betta fish in. Now, we had tons of awesome female betta fish last week, and we actually got more betta fish in. So there's tons of girls, so you can see on the screen there, but these are all boys. It looks like we have, oh, some really nice crown tails. Okay, there's yellows, there's blues, there's purples, there's reds, and we have some Veltails, so the big flowing ones. There's some purpley ones, blues, reds, weird colored ones, which can't really describe what color that is. But betta fish, otherwise known as a Siamese fighting fish, you want to keep these on their own, where the females you can keep in groups with other fish. The males do better on their own. They don't like fish in their territory. You can get away with the odd little catfish here and there. They want about 20 litres or so a nice 20 to 30 litre tank. They are a tropical fish. They keep them anything from 22 degrees to about 30 degrees Celsius, pH-wise 6.5 to 7, and they will be perfectly fine. They can live up to 10 years in captivity. Yes, 10 years. The internet says like 2 years to who knows what it says, because it's the internet, but we've had customers have them for about 9.5, 10 years, so they can definitely live that long. Very awesome fish, breathe through the surface, so they don't really need a lot of oxygen in the water, but if you have decent filtration, that's going to help with the nitrogen cycle and breaking down any ammonia or nitrates. But there we go, we have some awesome betta fish. Oh, look at that one. Can you see that one? How nice is that one? I know, there are a lot of nice betta fish. Anyway, if you did enjoy this video, click the thumbs up so I know. Feel free to comment down below. If you'd like any of the fish you see in this video, they are live now. So in the seeing of this video, all these fish are available. But if you're watching this a few months ahead, they're probably all gone, but there'll be more unboxing videos. Anyway, and thank you very much to all my members. If you want to become a member, click the little thing down below. You get extra videos and you get a discount code for everything in store and online on paulsaquariums.com. Anyway, thank you very much to all my current members, and we will see you in the next video.